Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching this video. So what do we have for today? In 2020, the world was hit with COVID-19. In this case, we are taking a look today, happened during lockdown in Portugal. So today we have the disappearance and death of a 9-year-old girl named Valentina. And I'm serious when I say every time I read a detail on how she died, I keep saying that word on the screen, and I truly angry and mad, and I wanted to punch the face of the person who killed her. So let's get started. Valentina was a 9-year-old girl from Peniche, Portugal. Valentina's parents, Sonia and Sandro, were separated. Actually, the two of them had a short-lived relationship. The fling only lasted about 3 to 4 months. Sonia got pregnant and she gave birth to Valentina. But Valentina was only 1 year old when her father found out about her. And for 4 years, there was no contact between Valentina and her father. Valentina was described by locals as a sweet girl. In Portugal, in 2020, schools were closed in March as the country went on lockdown to contain the spread of the virus. So students had their classes online and they would only return to school in September 2020. Valentina used to live with her mother, but during lockdown, her mother decided she would be temporarily staying with her father because Sonia thought it was safer as she was in touch with a lot of people. And also Valentina would have access to a computer and internet for her online classes and assignments. At Valentina's father's home, there was Sandro, her father, Marcia, her stepmother, and 2 other children, who were Valentina's half siblings, even though the oldest was Marcia's son from another relationship. The boy described Valentina as shy, quiet. She got along well with Marcia, her stepmother, and the boy and Valentina were friends. They got along very well. Sonia, Valentina's mother, would call regularly to get news about Valentina. Valentina didn't like talking on the phone, so Sonia would talk to Marcia to know how Valentina was doing. And this part is so weird. I know it was during lockdown. There were people who were apart from their families, but still, wouldn't you try to see your daughter from afar? Moving on. In 2018, while staying at her father's, Valentina went missing, but she was then found by the police. Apparently, Valentina missed her mother, so she wanted to be with her. Child Protective Services wrote a report and filed the case. This was a huge red flag. To be honest, I think they were negligent, allegedly. On the morning of May 7, 2020, Valentina's father went to see the authorities and said he hadn't seen Valentina since 8:30 a.m. that morning. Valentina was missing. The search for Valentina started right away. Locals helped searching. They used dogs, drones. This was full scale. 2 days later, they found a woman and child's piece of clothing. Neither of them belonged to Valentina. During the search, the father and stepmother were in touch with the authorities, but their behavior was a little bit odd. They were too relaxed for someone whose child was missing. 3 days later, after Valentina was reported missing, her body was found in a eucalyptus field and the body was covered with bushes. Shortly after, Valentina's father and stepmother were arrested and they were charged with first-degree murder, desecration of a dead body, and Valentina's father was also charged with domestic violence. And the loving couple would soon turn against each other and engage in the so popular "he did it, she did it." The father stated Marcia hit Valentina. He tried to save her, his daughter, but he was afraid of being arrested. Marcia said Sandro had done it. He had hit Valentina and she couldn't act on it because she was afraid he could do something to her children. And at the same time, some details became public which enraged the public. Valentina was allegedly tortured with boiling water and hit violently, which caused her to become unresponsible for hours. 13 of them, until she died. They did nothing to help her. allegedly for now. Eventually, they both confessed to what happened. Until the trial, both Sandro and Marcia remained in jail, and it was during trial, with the testimony of several people, including Valentina's stepbrother, the truth came to light, which showed Valentina's grim fate and how darkness took her from this world. According to the stepmother, Sandro would regularly violently hit Valentina, but that day things ended in death. The ex-nanny also testified, and her testimony would show how that fateful day came to happen. So according to the nanny, she called Marcia to tell her about some allegation she had heard about Valentina. Allegedly, Valentina was being abused by some school colleagues and also a man she called godfather. On that day, May 6, 2020, Valentina was supposed to do her homework, but Valentina's father decided to confront Valentina about the allegations, and everything he did was to find out the truth. According to the stepmother, he confronted Valentina in the bathroom. She told him about the godfather, and while this was happening, Sandro was violently hitting Valentina. Marcia told him to stop, but he didn't. But then comes the stepbrother's testimony, which would shock everyone and give even more details about what happened. The boy stated Valentina didn't fit in the family. She didn't have the right to sleep in one of the bedrooms. She slept in the living room. Valentina was afraid of hot water. And this detail is important because this will shock you later on. Stay with me. When the boy woke up that morning, he saw his stepfather and his mother take Valentina into the bathroom. He heard sounds of what was Sandro hitting Valentina hard. And he also heard Sandro tell Valentina she was a liar and she was up to no good. Then he turned the hot water and put Valentina in the tub. When I say hot water, I mean burning hot. Sandro was torturing, allegedly, Valentina, throwing burning hot water at her. He also tried to choke her. Then he punched her hard in the head, and Valentina was unresponsive. Marcia tried to get a reaction from Valentina, but there was none. Sandro took Valentina and laid her on the couch, and then she was covered with a blanket. Marcia allegedly wanted to call an ambulance, but Sandro didn't let her. Then, according to the boy, Sandro went to his room and watched his TV series. While Valentina was lying on the couch, the boy thought Valentina was asleep, and he also saw the marks of burns on Valentina's legs and body. But Valentina wasn't sleeping. She was dying, slowly, in agony. Then the couple went to the laundromat to wash some clothes, and while they were there, the boy noticed Valentina wasn't moving at all, and she was foaming from her mouth. So he called his mother, and Marcia and Sandro came back home quickly. Sandro threatened the boy and said if he said anything to anyone, he would never see his mother and siblings. And then he was sent to his room. Valentina was dead. Sandro said they had to take her body and put it somewhere else. Marcia put some clothes on Valentina. Sandro put Valentina's body in the car. Marcia drove the car to a field of eucalyptus, and they left her there, covered with bushes. Then on the next day morning, Sandro filed a missing report. Authorities searched the house and found no traces of blood inside. But in my opinion, I think the authorities, right from the beginning, were already suspicious of the father. Because she died on May 6th, the missing reports was on May 7th, and he confessed on May 10th. This was fast. Some people say Sandro was actually the one who led authorities to Valentina's body. They did a reenactment of the crime. Sandro blamed Marcia. Marcia blamed Sandro. Sandro said Valentina had a seizure and then she hit her head and died in the tub, which wasn't true. Autopsy showed Valentina was violently assaulted. She had a cerebral contusion, in other words, which I don't know how to say it. I want you to bear in mind that in Portugal, maximum sentence is 25 years. So, both Sandro and Marcia were found guilty. Sandro was sentenced to 25 years and Marcia to almost 19 years in prison. They appealed and were resentenced to 24 years to Sandro and and 9 years to Marcia. If this happened in the US, it would have been life in prison without parole for sure. During trial, Sandro didn't show any emotions. He was described as cold. That dude is most likely a sociopath or a psychopath. I'm sure a lot of people like the word psychopath. Let's keep that one. Marcia lost custody of her children. Sandro tried to cut himself in prison, unsuccessfully. Valentina's mother stated she had never seen indications Valentina was being a victim of domestic violence, like herself had been before she met Valentina's father. Before killing Valentina and being arrested, Sandro planned to move to Belgium. Valentina was left in that couch for 13 hours in agony until she died. If someone had called for help, she could have survived. Valentina's death was brutal and cruel. Her father is trash. I said what I said. He's disgusting. How do you confront your child with sexual abuse allegations by torturing her with burning hot water and punching her hard in the head? Well, good luck for both of them when they get out of prison, because locals are furious. Valentina is free. Sadness and anger remains. True justice didn't prevail, because they will walk free someday. Valentina is gone forever.